Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. And to my super chat, I know there are a great many things you could spend your money on. If you choose to support my voice during this super chat and any super chat or on my Patreon, it's just greatly appreciated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what were people talking about? First of all, I see a wonderful message. They won't pick Clinton because they know she can't win or whatever. Democrats have no choice. So that's number one. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. Democrats have no choice. They don't have a political party. It's a political machine run by two people. It's run by me and my wife. So that's it. Can't you think of it? I can't think of anything better than to be in the Oval Office again. Oh my goodness. Oh, it'll be just like old times, good times. Oh yeah. But speaking of Clinton 2020, and she will be in the nominee, this is all a theatrical performance. Why do you think they impeached President Trump? That's a question. Do you think that the basis for this, the basis for Trump impeachment, was that he was afraid of Biden? Everyone knows that Biden would have, that he couldn't get close to defeating Trump. Everybody knows that Biden is probably the best gift to President Trump that Democrats could ever give him. There is no possible way. It would be, not only would he lose in a landslide defeat, but only 26% of Biden voters, there aren't really Biden voters, it's really the I'm with her crowd. But 26% are enthusiastic about, here's him out, come on now, people now. He made several other gaffes the other day, earlier today. Every day, it's a highlight reel of how horrendous a campaign can be. That's just enough, by the way, to beat Bernie Sanders. Have you noticed that Bernie Sanders is... I feel bad for Bernie. Everyone around him, from Elizabeth Warren to AOC, is now abandoning ship. And they got to where they got to the prominence and the fame and all of that because of Bernie Sanders, and they just abandoned ship. So, hey, come on now, smell on your brother. Come on now, come on, people now, you know the deal. Are you going to withhold military assistance to prevent this man from running against you? Come on, my people, now come on. You know the deal. Let's go do it. It's endowed by the creator for the thing. You know the thing. Robert, hello. You know the thing. You're talking about one fry short of a Happy Meal. One beer short of a six-pack. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Brian, exactly. Sharp as marble. Sharp as marble. Which leads to the question, two questions. Why did they focus so much on impeachment? And why did they fail to even not only predict, but why did they use all the resources they had? Exactly. He called it Lujan. He wanted people in Lujan. Orange Row 55. Do Dems not realize that impeachment proceedings have no known exactly? Love you, man. Thank you, Orange Grove 55. Orange Grove 55. That's her. You impeach President Trump.
You didn't even give me the articles of impeachment for about, 3 months. And when you eventually impeached him, we were entering a blazing inferno of a calamity not seen since the medieval times. And all you could do is worry about Biden. Well, naturally, you've done it again. I hope you're happy with yourself. And tell Rand Paul never to call me again.
So, what were they saying, like, just 2 months ago? What were they saying last month? What were they saying in February? Orange Grove 55, thank you. What were they saying in February? What were they saying in January? Let's look. Let's look. So they were not focused on this crisis. Andrew Cuomo completely dropped the ball on this. Gavin Newsom completely dropped the ball on this. Their State of the State addresses made zero mention of masks, ventilators, or anything that they claim to be like. They claim President Trump didn't know. Then they say, the intelligence community told Trump. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The intelligence community is out to get Trump every 2 seconds. They would have leaked information, if not to save human lives, which they don't care about, just to undermine Trump. But here, January Senate. Let's just read all the articles. Here. They wanted to remove Trump from office. By a narrow margin, Americans say Senate trial should result in removal. Hold on, here. Oh my God! By a narrow margin, Americans say Senate trial should result in Trump's removal. Pew Research. BBC. Trump's impeachment. House sends historic case to Senate. Oh my God. This is amazing. Gee, what's going to happen about a month from now? January 31st, Trump impeachment. Key senators doom Democrat hopes. No! BBC, key senators doom Democrats' hope for witnesses. They wanted witnesses for what? The current crisis? No, because Trump was withholding military assistance from the Ukraine. Because they were going to go after Biden's campaign. He was going after his direct political rival. Gee, what's about to happen in this country? About a year, 30 days from when you were hyperventilating, Democrats. The majority say Trump should be removed by Senate. The Hill. Fox News poll, half of Americans say Trump should be removed. CNN, 51% say Senate should remove Trump from office. Oh my God. Senate should remove Trump, majority of Americans say. And then here, Trump withheld military assistance. GOA report says Trump administration broke law. Washington Post, Trump ordered hold on military aid before calling. Oh my God! Zelensky, who actually stated there was no quid pro quo. And he wasn't pressured. Foreign policy. Republicans were concerned over Trump's withholding. This is all in January, by the way. People, I'm reading January and February articles. Okay? Trump administration broke the law. CNBC, Axios. State Department quietly authorized some Ukraine aid. Oh my God! PolitiFact. Trump lawyer Sekulow says Trump's hold on Ukraine aid is like whatever. ABC News. White House ordered aid to Ukraine to be withheld. Oh my God! This is all in January. February. DOJ says withheld emails reveal Trump's thinking on Ukraine. February 1st, 2020. Politico. No. Trump's hold on Ukraine military aid was illegal. USA Today, Trump impeachment trial. Emails show thinking. He's thinking. People, he was thinking. Oh my God. He was thinking about the Ukraine. What happens a month from now, you petulant imbeciles? What? And then you have the Pelosi with the most. Yeah, Trump, he has, on his hands, like, yeah, you tried to remove the president a month before this. Oh, that's so funny. NBC News, Trump violated the law by withholding Ukraine aid. LA Times, million in military aid at center of impeachment. Hasn't gone to Ukraine. All they cared about was Ukraine military aid. Government Accountability Office finds Trump administration. CNN. Trump administration reveals it blocked dozens of emails. Oh my God. I mean, do you want to go? This is all in January, February. February 19th. Donald Trump's thoughts on withholding military aid. Trump's Ukraine military aid suspension timeline is suspicious. Oh, media. You did it again, media. You did it again, media. You petulant, malicious, petulant, malicious people. Parabiology 101. Excellent impressions today. Thank you, Parabiology 101. Thank you. Thank you. Trump administration lifts hold on security aid. Reuters. Oh, my God. Well, Trump. What happens a month from now, Democrats? Bunch of imbeciles. Hold on, let me see. This is okay. Hold on, New York. Let's look at what the New York Times. New York Times. Impeachment rules say Senate must act. Impeachment trial. Oh, here, let's just do this. Senate impeachment trial. New York Times. Let's look at all the wonderful articles in February. The day in impeachment, senators hear closing arguments. Senator Lisa Murkowski says she will vote to acquit President Trump. No! Trial date set for Lev Parnas. Who's Lev Parnas? Does anybody even remember? No way. Manchin calls for a censure of Trump. This is all February. The vote is Wednesday afternoon. Here's what to expect at the trial. Until then, please remove him a month before all of this goes down. They wanted to remove Trump before the hypothetical fantasy that Andrew Cuomo has that he was on top of things. So he would have. So okay, Cuomo didn't even say anything about ventilators in New York or masks. Anthony D'Amato, thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Parabiology 101. So none of them focused on the current crisis. Schiff makes his final pitch. He will not change, and you know it. Seizing on his this is February 3rd in the New York Times, seizing on his final opportunity to make the case to Republican senators and for the history books to reconsider their intended acquittal of President Trump. Representative Adam Schiff of California, the lead impeachment manager, framed his closing remarks with a pointed question: can the Senate trust Trump? The short plains, quote, the short plains said, incontestable answers, no, you can't. Mr. Schiff said, you can't trust this president to do the right thing. Not for 1 minute, not for one election, not for the sake of the country. You just can't. 60% of Americans agree with his handling of the current crisis. This is what Schiff was talking about in February. He will not change, and you know it, he added. Quote, a man without character or ethical compass will never find his way. Oh, gee, thanks. Thanks, Adam Schiff. Tell us more about your interactions with people who started all of that. This is the same representative who's like, tell me the nature of the compromise. Mr. Schiff warned that an acquittal would normalize the abuse of power that Mr. Trump committed, and bemoaned the Senate appeared poised to refuse to do anything about it but wring our hands. I hope and pray that we never have a president like Donald Trump of the Democratic Party. Don't worry, you won't. Oh my God, this is great. I hope and pray that we never have a president like Donald Trump of the Democratic Party. Don't worry. Hillary's going to be running for the next 50 years, so you don't have to worry about that. And I would hope to God that if we did, we would impeach him and Democrats would lead the way. Yeah, that would never happen. That would never, ever happen. That would never happen in the Democratic Party. Never. Wow. This is nonstop. This is nonstop hysteria, maniacal, rabid, hyperventilating, hysterical, megalomaniacal ranting by Democrats about impeachment because of because of millions of dollars. Despite this is January 31st. Despite the evidence, Republicans rallied behind Trump. What evidence? Okay, let's look at the evidence. President Zelensky and President Poroshenko both stated there was no leverage and no quid pro quo. You would have to have. Democrats wanted to remove Trump because what they thought. They ignored the fact that President Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, stated there was no pressure and no quid pro quo, and still they're like, he doesn't mean it. Then you had a real issue about Biden and Hunter and $3.4 million from a corrupt energy corporation and forcing out a prosecutor. The rebuttal is, well, the prosecutor wasn't doing his job. That's not for Biden. That's not for Biden or any American politician to decide. You can't force out officials of another country under the guise of preventing corruption while your son's on the board of directors of a corrupt energy corporation. Are you kidding me? New York Times. This is the New York Times non-stop coverage. Oh my God, non-stop coverage. Only in January, they were consumed. President Trump deserves a real trial. Trump, a step-by-step guide to impeachment trial, January 13th. They were consumed. That's all they talked about. And it wasn't just the New York Times. It was Washington Post, obviously. Here, let's look at the Washington Post. House managers argue the Senate has a duty to remove Trump. This is February. The White House offers senators a false and poisonous choice, Washington Post. January 26th. This is only weeks back. This is March when the you-know-what hit the fan, people. There would be nothing wrong with that. Todd Rubel! Todd! Todd, thank you so much. Thank you, Todd. Eric H526, hello, Todd. I hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. Every single day, all you heard. Nancy, you were focused on impeachment. You fiddled while Rome was dismantled before our very eyes. Your petulance, Nancy, will not be forgotten. Future generations will look at you and say, my goodness, the Pelosi with the most.
You dropped the ball, Nancy. You, yet again, fumbled on the 1-yard line. Yet again, you missed the winning shot, Nancy. Yet again, you dropped the fly ball. You keep on dropping balls, Nancy. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. A pop-up to Nancy at shortstop. And you dropped it. Chalk up another loss for the Democratic Party. As usual, Nancy, you lose again. You snooze, you lose. That's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles. You get in the octagon, you're going to get khabibed.
They yet again picked the wrong battle. House Democrats say Senate must eliminate. McConnell tells Republican senators he does not have yet. Okay, so in case you had any doubt, impeachment will plague the Senate. Oh my God, the Washington Post admits. Let's be honest, impeachment hurt the president's response. Well, people know all of this. So people know all of this. This is not like something that White Lotus, I actually do, but I just want to abide by YouTube policies, so I don't know if I can. I do have that impression. It's like Audrey Hepburn. It's like Audrey Hepburn. You know what? If I do it in a deep voice, then if you watch President Trump, he fiddled while Rome was consumed in flames of glory. But it's more, yeah, I can't do the exact voice on YouTube. Exactly, Paul 48, exactly. So they tell President Trump, you have to demand these corporations help us. And then he goes, and then he, the CEO of MyPillow CEO, and then he's like, yeah, we'll help. And then the left is like, okay, yeah, like, these corporations, who do they think they are? Oh, here we go. Why I watch daily, Trump's briefings. And no, it's not because I'm not just going to not use even the word. I'm super cautious today for some reason. When this is over, many people will claim they didn't know what Trump was saying or doing. I will remember it. I will speak up. You do that. You speak up. You speak up, USA Today journalist. You speak up, because why don't you speak up after reelection? Real-time lab of democracy in decline. Ah! Oh my God. It's like they live in a world where there is nothing of value. Like nothing, everything is consumed and altered by their contempt for Trump. So they can't look at anything. Like, I actually like Hillary Clinton. Are you kidding me? She's my favorite politician after President Trump. Because I like honesty and treachery. I love Hillary. God bless her. Believe me. Everything that the Clintons do not only amplifies my voice, but proves everything I've said about politics. So, like, I love them. Believe me. Like, but with these people who, like, with the derangement issues, with the derangement issues regarding President Trump, it's just really bizarre. They look at the world from the vantage point of, like, they're reporting from a nightmare. Live from my nightmare. Parabiology 101. Your Mitch McConnell spot on. Thank you, Parabiology 101. I hope all is well. Parabiology 101. Thank you for watching for so long. Parabiology 101. Can I tell you how glorious it'll be? The only thing I can tell you is keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the championship. November, when President Trump wins, and suddenly James Comey is like, "You made a wrong choice, America, no!" And then Robert De Niro's like, "Oh, you know what? I mean, no!" And Debbie Wasserman Schultz is like, "No!" And then media is like, "No!" And CNN's like, "No!" And MSNBC is like, "No!" And Washington Post's like, "No!" And New York, like, "No!" And everyone just completely melts down in the miserable cauldron of their own maniacal contempt. Oh my God, it will be glorious. Glorious. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to be like, it's going to be like, there might be a moment for the very intelligent of the people who think they're the most intelligent on the planet, where they look in the mirror and say, oh, or actually say these people possess wisdom. The other is that Trump's rambling press conferences, South Lawn fandangos, and bellowing rallies are now real-time laboratories in democratic decline. And I think it's important to be consistent witness to all of it. Although I've often live tweeted his public events, that I'm actually, comparison to other nations and other times, it's difficult to even place Trump's unhinged performance with an American experience. Unhinged. He's completely, the media is not unhinged, it's Trump. So where's the actual critique? Because 60% of Americans, he's actually gaining among Democrats. So I want to know, like, what this gentleman, of course, my computer completely shuts down. Talking about unhinged. President Trump has a 60% approval rating when it comes to this crisis, and all we get is, oh my God, I'm watching so I could be a witness to future generations. There are only so many Trump's public statements you can listen to before you doubt your own grip on reality. I love it. This is the best. This is amazing. Kind of like when you hear that nothing was sent, no classified emails were sent or received when they were marked classified. Oops, that's not true. It's a security review. No, it wasn't. This water I'm drinking in Flint is totally safe. No, it's not. Let's see. Oh yeah, this NATO intervention is going to be fantastic. No, it actually contributed to obliterating a nation. Let's see. What else? We didn't cheat Bernie Sanders. It's fair and neutral. Yes. Tell us more about reality. My God. This is pretty unbelievable. Like, there are so many pop-up. I gotta get the pop-up blocker. There's so many things, just I can't even get this going. But it's basically like, yeah, the funniest part of, the best part of listening, it'll be like, exactly, Paul, it'll be like throwing holy water on a vampire. Exactly. It'll be like throwing holy water on a vampire. Oh, that is great. It is going to be like that. It's pretty unbelievable. Okay, let's just see if I can get this. They literally wrote in the New York Times why Clinton needs to be two-faced, and then suddenly Trump is like, oh my God. I hear Trump contradict his own words, even as they're being read to him verbatim. And I wonder how Americans watching this president brazenly lie end up angry at the journalist who asks the questions rather than Trump himself. Actually, he's not brazenly lying. He is, if he's wrong about something, then he corrects himself or whatever. It's like he's going through this. He just got out of not being impeached because the entire media, he got out of 3 years of surviving impeachment based on a dossier. And I mean, the impeachment trial, by the way, showed no criminal act. So they did not impeach him on committing a crime. There were no legal statutes associated with the impeachment articles. That's number one. Number two, Andrew Cuomo, Whitmer of Michigan, Inslee of Washington, Gavin Newsom of California. None of them were bringing up any of this in January or February. So how is this Trump's fault? He's not the governor of New York or California or Michigan or Washington. If they needed ventilators, they should have gotten ventilators. I watch sycophants like, here, they'll tell us that God chose Trump and how I wonder how many millions of people think God picks presidents. Yes, so something alien to my personal faith. Well, that's, so what? That's what he believes. Why mock that person? See, there you go. But then reassure themselves that he somehow didn't pick Obama. Who says that? Why would you assume that? Mostly I watch these days because, here we go. Here, Trump falsely denies saying two things he said last week. He falsely denies saying two things he said last week. He falsely denies saying two things he said last week. How many times did Clinton falsely deny? How many times did Clinton say false things that were false? How many times did President Obama throughout his tenure? You're talking about somebody who drank Flint water while it was still poisonous, while it still had lead that got people sick. So it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They want perfection from Trump when they don't demand that. What was Clinton talking about? What were Democrats talking about for 3 years? Nothing to do with the current calamity or crisis. What about January? Nothing. February? Nothing. Gavin Newsom in California, 40 million residents in California, completely shut down the economy, as did other states. In February of 2020, he had a state of the state, and he had the budget set for this year. Not one reference to what's going on. Not one reference. Not one reference. So it's like, it's pretty unbelievable. The malice, this is the thing. He never called it a hoax. That never happened. He called maybe the hysteria or the paranoia or the media obsession. he did not call the actual calamity a hoax. That's number one. Number two, he never said that really horrible bigots were fine people. Never. Number three, he never worked with Russia. Number four, he didn't conspire against Clinton in any way, or Biden, to withhold military assistance, because if anything, the $400 million he would have spent of his own money to ensure that Biden would run against him. You have media obsession after media obsession. All of it is nonsense, based on utter nonsense. They're wrong, consistently wrong. Consistently wrong. Orange Girl 55! Did you see Andrew argue on air about who mom loves most last week? It was hilariously cringe. Oh my god, it's cringe right now. I mean, just thinking about it, it's Orange Girl 55. No, oh my god. There's Orange Girl 55. You know, it's interesting. They give Andrew Cuomo a free pass. His state has hit the worst. Where was he in January? Go look at the state. If you're in New York, New Yorkers should look at Andrew Cuomo's State of the State speech and look at the budget for this year. Does he have any money for ventilators and masks? I mean, it was just January of this year, literally just 5-6 weeks ago? Or 8 weeks ago? 2 months ago. 2 months ago, he said nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like all they do is they hyperventilate in this like they constantly go into these hyperventilating tirades where they're just not only petulant and malicious, but they only see the worst possible. Everything they see is within the lenses of, oh my god, like it's basically they're like reporting from a nightmare. President Trump is their nightmare, and the funny thing is, it's not President Trump. 60% of the American people approve of his handling. 60% according to Gallup. And you don't believe Gallup? Okay, 55% according to ABC News. Oh, you don't believe ABC News? There's an Emerson poll, over 50%. And his overall rating is at like 47%, which is the highest of his presidency. He's doing what he needs to do. And they're like, well, you said something that you didn't say. And they always you can't imagine if you lived with somebody like CNN or like the Democratic Party. Like every moment you'd be like on the defensive every moment, because the person would be like, you said this, you said that, you said the remote control, you said you didn't know where the remote control was, but really, you said that you think the remote control was in the den. You know where I found it? I found it in the kitchen. The remote control was actually in the kitchen. Huh? No. Well, let's play the tape. Play the tape. I mean, you couldn't last 2 seconds with that. Play the tape. Okay? Lisa, oh my goodness, $2.2 billion deficit. Wow. So, all of this is it says more about Democrats and liberals and media than it does about Trump. President Trump, most people see, this is a funny thing that happened when President Trump won the presidency. Suddenly, he wasn't a media personality who President Trump was no longer a media personality that had The Apprentice. He was no longer somebody that was friends with Bill Clinton. Wait, this is hilarious. Where's President Trump's Twitter page? That's funny. If you type in President Trump, oh my God. Hold on. Oh, okay, you finally get. Okay, this is kind of funny. I was like, what? You can't find his Twitter? Every day, they don't realize also that, like, you know, they're like, oh my God, he's such a horrible person. These are the tweets that, like, that within a second you have the most negative reaction from Democrats. My proposal, hold on, my administration is helping U.S. auto workers. Okay. Great news. American families will now be able to buy safer, more affordable, environmentally friendly cars. But of course, they don't want any of that with Trump. When we get to the point where we can move on and Democrats have to see, this is kind of a moment. This is the best thing that, like, unfortunately, the best thing that ever happened to Madam Secretary. Clinton's looking at this and saying, okay, just waiting. Just waiting now. Just waiting now. Now people are saying Andrew Cuomo. Hillary Clinton, when she becomes nominee, I will be officially the only person, because Bannon says she'll run. He never said she'll be nominee, and he was just recently stating this. You gotta understand, Hillary Clinton is my second favorite politician to Trump, in a very different for different reasons. President Trump is the best president of my lifetime. I don't see a president that I don't see a president who's reversing foreign policy, failed foreign policy, that no other leader, no other president had. Well, President Obama did not have the ability to reverse U.S. foreign policy. If anything, he extended he continued the mistakes made by George W. Bush, who was the worst president of all time, ran on a marriage amendment, but got us into never-ending quagmires that destabilized the entire world, caused tremendous amount of suffering, especially with our soldiers and their families, and people around the world that we were supposed to help. You look at Cheney, Rumsfeld, Bush. These are the worst leaders we've ever had. And now you have Hollywood celebrities hanging out with Bush. It's like totally fine now. Bush is the normal. This Democratic Party thinks that Bush is the normal Republican. He's the normal Republican. Trump is the abnormal Republican. Like, when they lose again, it's going to be Yankees. You take Yankees, Red Sox, Celtics, Lakers. You take Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. You take Ali Frazier. You take any rivalry in sports. Any rivalry in sports. You take any rivalry. Patriots. Who would their rival be? I don't know. It really actually should be the Giants. The Giants beat them twice. But you take any rivalry that you could think of, and it's going to be like, and it'll be vindication for me, because there are so many people who looked at me going from Bernie to Trump and saying, oh my God, how could you? Well, now we found out 15% of Bernie Sanders supporters are voting for President Trump. So there you go. There you go. It's they were consumed, ladies and gentlemen. They were consumed with just nonsense. And, you know, instead of actually focusing on their states, they were consumed with taking on Trump. And you can't take on Trump if they've created their own Trump. The things that he does, the things that he says, are not as cataclysmic as they make them out to be. It's like, oh my God, he said this. Oh my God. It's like, dude, why don't you focus on Biden for a second? Try to decipher. Do you have a Rosetta Stone for what Biden even says? Do you even hey man, come on, man. You know the deal, man. You gotta make the cure and the problem worse. I mean, it's pretty simple, Lujan. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, people now. Smell on your brother. Come on. Then you have Reuters. Biden quietly widens lead over Trump. And it's like only by 6 points. You better have 60-point lead. First of all, it'll be Hillary Clinton. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest. Hi-Fi Trucker! When will Bernie make an orderly withdrawal? An orderly withdrawal. Hi-Fi Trucker. Oh my God. I think that's by design also, because they don't want Biden. I think once Bernie gets Hi-Fi Trucker, when he gets the green light or the red light or whatever, you know, when he gets the call from the DNC, we need you to end your campaign, Bernie. You've done enough to funnel votes of left-leaning people into the Democratic Party. Then Hi-Fi Trucker, then he'll leave. Probably another, defeat in the primary, then he'll go. But Hi-Fi Trucker, they're waiting. Once Bernie leaves and it's just Biden, who knows how it happens? Whether Clinton runs, whether it's a brokered contested convention and then she wins there, whether she runs a month before, she gets into the primary by June, who knows? One thing that's certain, Hi-Fi Trucker, is that in November, when you're in the big rig, God bless you, and you're shipping freight, you're gonna have an amazing November. No one's gonna want to sleep. Everyone's gonna just want to think about the election. It's going to be the biggest election of all time. It's going to be the biggest election of all time. Pretty amazing. I mean, it'll be pretty amazing. And notice, by the way, that I just find this really sad. Elizabeth Warren and AOC. Unbelievable. Now they're talking about Andrew Cuomo, but it's like, no, they really don't want Cuomo. They're not going to go with somebody who says, "Smell, come on now, smell on your brother," and then to somebody who says, "America was never great." I mean, America was never great. America was never great, everyone. Is that good? Well, I get the progressive votes for that. Trendy Dabbers. McKenna live show. I disagree with a couple military responses in 2018. I don't want any military. I don't want to get into it on too much on the live stream because of YouTube policies, but there were a couple of responses that he made because he was pushed to do so. So that I was against, and I do not want President Trump to do anything like that again. I think it's just bad in two different countries. I want him to do what he's doing now, withdraw Americans. I also disagreed with him letting go of Michael Flynn. That was not good. Not good at all. And the one thing I'll say, I would rather he not go after, or I would rather he not respond in too negative of a way to women who disparage him. So I've been told, it doesn't matter, equal. It's just the optics. Who cares about the optics? It's no good. If there's a woman that goes after Trump from here on out, he should, aside from Hillary, if it's aside from Clinton, but any woman that disparages him, he should just either sidestep it or kind of try to politely address, not politely, but not too hardcore. But anyway, that too, Michael, that too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you so much. I will be back. Let's see, 6. I'll be back by around 8:30, ladies and gentlemen. Be here around 8:30, people. Thank you so very much. 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much, everyone. And I will be here 8:30 p.m. Be here 8:30 p.m. Pacific, everybody. Thanks for a great live stream.